So first of all, for searching purpose, insert a button. Double click on command button. Okay, change the name of this button, CMD search ID, CMD search by ID, CMD search by ID. Now just change the caption, search ID, double click. What is the name of this element? ADOTC1. In this element we have created the connection. Now just double click on the search button. First of all, when we are going to click on the search ID button, so an input box will appear and ask for an ID. Okay, so for storing that ID you have to declare a variable of integer type, integer data type. Just write dim ID as integer. Now ID equal to the input box. From the input box we are going to store the value inside the ID variable. Input box, write message enter ID to search record, and title of the message search by ID. Okay, the third step is you have to search inside database. Searching inside database, either we are having the record for the given ID or not. So you have to create the data source right here. Data source means the source from which we are going to select data. The source from where we are going to select data mean the table. From the table we are going to select data. So just create a record source for this purpose. ADOTC one dot record source. In previous lecture we have created record set. Now we are going to create record source equals to record source equals to. Okay, so just write query here in record source. Select steric from std. Std is the name of table. Now you have to specify some record. So use where clause, where keyword, where std underscore id equals to. Use shift 7 for concatenation. The id which is stored inside the id variable from input box will be concatenated with the query. So just use shift 7 and write name of the variable id. Okay, دویمه خبر دا چې کوم تاسو query هغه په double quotes کې بدلوي. The query which you are going to write, you have to enclose in double quotes. The query will be enclosed in double quotes. So starting from here up to here and just concate the id variable at last. Now refresh the record set, refresh the ADO control. So ADOTC ADOTC1 dot refresh. Refresh is a property of the ADO control. So search by ID is completed. Start your project and check. Click on the search ID button. Input box will appear. Enter ID to search record. For example, record number 3, Jawad. Record number 3. Press OK. You can see the record has been selected. सब होएगा ही क्या ना ना होएगा okay. So first of all we have declared a variable id as integer. The next we have stored the value from input box in that variable. The third one, we are going to create a record source, a source from where the record will be selecting. So record source equal to select static from std. This is a query. Select is also a keyword. From is a keyword. Select static means select complete record from the std table where std underscore id. std underscore id is a field name inside the std table. This is the field name inside the std table where std id equals to this id variable. And at last you have to refresh the ADO control, ADO dot refresh. The same method you have to follow for the search by name. Okay, the next thing, if there is no record find, for example, we are going to search the ID number 5. So here should be a message box appear that sorry no record found. The message box pakar that display. Say that. So just add if condition right here. Add if statement right here. Double click on the search ID button. Okay, what is the name of the first text box? Text 1. Name of the first text box is text 1. Now just double click on the search ID button, and at last you have to write the if statement. If text1 dot text equals to nothing, then display message box. Types of button VV OK only. And title, for example, sorry. And if. Now start your project and check. I'm going to search the ID number 5. Sorry, no record found. होएगी समझेगी होएगी say okay. The next thing we are going to search by name. Add a button change the name of this button to CMD search name and change the caption to search name. Now double click on the search button. The same method you have to follow. First of all, you have to declare a variable. Then input box, using input box, you have to store the value. You have to store the name in that variable. Then in record source you will check. See, mobile kita. So double click on the search name button, and first of all you have to declare a variable. We are going to store the name in that variable. So which kind of variable we will declare? String. Name string देखा ना. Name string भी का string नहीं भी. Name numeric value भी का characters भी the alphabetics भी. So you have to declare string data type. تاسو خو variables ویلي دي کنه dim std underscore name, dim std underscore name, this is the name of variable. Std underscore name, this is the name of variable. Dim std underscore name is string data type, Now in this variable you have to store value from input box. So just std underscore name equals to the input box. Enter name to search record. Entitle search by name. The third line should be creating of record source. Here you have to create a record source. ADOTC1 dot record source equal to, just write query, select steric from std table, where here we have searched by id. Now we are going to search by name, std underscore name. So just write std underscore name equal to, now just concat that variable, the variable which we have defined right here, this one, concat at the end of query, shift 7 AND operator. This symbol is using for the concatenation. Shift 7 basta kaval, basta kardan. std underscore name. Okay, so just start single quote from here before closing the double quote. Start single quote right here. At the end again you have to use the concatenation operator, then start double quote, single quote and close double quote. In the next line you have to refresh the ADO control. ADOTC1 dot refresh. Start using F5 button. Search by name. For example, I am going to search the Sunny. Search by name, Sunny. Press OK. Search. Okay. Now display a message box. If record is not found. If text1 dot text equals to nothing, then display message box. Sorry, no record found. And the button should be VB OK only. And titles and if. So response na dera rawan kar. Search by name. I'm going to search Habib. Sorry, no record found. Search Arif. No record found.